Hello everybody. Today I want to explain for you a grammar lesson. Do you know what is our lesson about? It is about tenses. What are tenses? Tenses are words that are used to refer time, which means to mention a time. Now I want to say time. Maybe this time is in the present, maybe the past, maybe the future. By using tenses, you can refer to either the past, the present, or the future. Tenses are shown by the form of the verbs used. Now, I want to show you an example for each tense, for the present, the past, and the future. Let me start with the present tense. Here we have a man in his garden. This man is holding a shovel and he's doing something. So we can say here the man digs a hole. I repeat, the man digs the hole or a hole. So when does this action happen? This action happens in the present tense because the man now digs the hole. Okay, I repeat. The man digs a hole. It's in the present tense. You can say here the action or the verb digs. It is in the present tense. Here we have the same man, but here we have another picture. Let us talk about this picture. Here we have the man. He's holding a shovel, but here in front of this man we can see what? A hole. So here the man has already finished his work. Or he has already what? Done his work. So here we have the hole. We can say that the man dug a hole or the man dug the hole. Here, this verb or this action is in the past tense. Here we have the same man too. But here, can you see anything in front of this man? Can you see any hole? No. We can just see a man who's holding a shovel. So we can say that the man will do something because he's holding a shovel. We can know that the man will dig a hole. The man will do something, which means the man will dig a hole. So here there's an action that will happen. So we can say that will dig is in the future tense. Now, I want to show you when should we use the present tense. We should use the present tense if we have daily actions, regular and routine actions, habitual actions, and universal truths. When I want to say universal truths, which means facts. Here we have the sentence structure for the simple present tense. Can you see them? Subject plus verb 1 plus object. When I want to say verb 1, which means the verb in the base form, as for example, sleep, as for example, dig, act, for example, read, write, those we call them base form verbs. Here we have the second structure, which is subject plus verb 1 with s, es, or ies plus object. Now, I want to show you how we should use the verbs if we have a sentence that is daily action. Here, first of all, we have the structures, the two structures. If we have a subject as you, I, we, or they, we should keep the verb as it, which means in the base form, as for example, go, sleep, act, etc. Here, if we have the subject he, she, or it, we should write the verb in the base form, but we should add for it s, or es, or ies. Here are the examples. I go to office daily. Can you see the words here? Daily, 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 daily. Here we have an action that is happening daily. Okay, I go to office daily. Because we have here I, or we, you, they, we should keep the verb as it. Okay, which means in the base form, go. But if the subject is she or he, or how I said before, it, we should add for the verb s or es or ies. Here, because the verb ends with o, we added es. Okay? Now, we have habitual actions, which means actions as habits. I smoke cigarettes daily. Okay? Here, because we have I, just we keep the verb as it in the base form, smoke. We shouldn't add anything for the verb. We, you, they, too, we should keep them the same. Okay, here we have she or he, so we should add for the verb s. Regular and routine actions, if we have an actions that's happening as routine ones, okay, as here, for example, yearly ones, or every weekend, or every year, every Monday, or something that is happening regularly. Okay, we should write the verb in the present form. As here, I learn English regularly. We, you, or they go to London yearly once. Okay, can you see the verbs here? They are in the base form. Okay, here, because the subject is she or he, we added for the verb s. Can you see it? Plays tennis every weekend. Universal truths, when I want to say universal truths, which means sentences that they are fact ones. Okay, as those are three examples. The first one, the sun rises in the east. It's a fact sentence. Yes, the sun, we should say that it's what? It. Or we can imagine that we can write here it rather than the sun. So because of that, we should add for the verb s. Wild animals, can you imagine here that, for example, it's they? Because wild animals is a plural, we should keep live as it in the base form, live in forest. Rain gives water to earth. Here, rain, it's as it. Because of that, we should add for the verb s. Now let us start with the past form, past tense. Here we have some timing words, okay? Those timings, when we see them, which means we should write the verb in the past form or past tense. Let us read those words. Yesterday, day before yesterday, last night, last week, or last month, or last year, which means when we want to say last, which means it's in the past. 2 days ago, 1 month ago, 2 years ago, etc. When we want to say ago, or when we see the word ago, we should write the verb in the past tense. Now, the structure of the simple past tense. We have two structures. I will show you them next. Here we have subject plus verb to plus object. And I want to say verb to, which means past. Okay, here we have the structure I, you, we, they, he, she, it. If we have any subject, we should write the verb as in the past tense with d, ed, or ied if the verb is regular one. Look at those examples. I played football yesterday. Here we have an action word, yesterday, so we write the verb in the past tense. Here we have she or he. Studied. We did what here? We add d or ied. English, 2 days ago, we have here an action word. Do you see it? Ago. We, you, they baked cake last week. Here we have what? Last. Because we have the word last, we should write the verb in the past form. Those three verbs are regular verbs. Let us see now the irregular verb, went. Do you know the verb went is related to which verb? The verb went is the past form of the verb go. Go is in the present, went is in the past. We call the verb go or went irregular verb. Okay? The same here. If the subject is any one of those, we write the verb in the past form. Okay? For sure, if we have what? Past actions as those three. I went to office yesterday, because we have the word yesterday here. We wrote the verb as went. Okay? She or he went to office 2 days ago, because we have the word ago here, which is an past action word, or a tense word that shows, it's a timing word that shows the past tense. Here we wrote the verb as went. We, you, or they went to office last week, because we have this timing word last, so we wrote the verb here as went, or we should write it as. Now let us start with the future tense. Here we have the timing words. Can you see them? Let me read them. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, which means the word next is the timing word for the future. 5 days later, 1 month later, 5 years later. Here, which means to, the word later is the word that shows future action, or it's a timing word for the future. Now, we have the structures for the future tense. The first structure is I or we should add for the verb at the beginning shall plus verb 1. Can you see here verb 1? What does it mean, verb 1? Verb 1, which means we should keep the verb as it, which means in the base form. We shouldn't add anything for the verb s, es, ies, or d, ed, ied. We shouldn't add anything for it. We should keep it in the base form. Here, you, they, he, she, or it, any subject, okay, we should add before the verb will, plus then verb 1. I will repeat verb 1, which means the base form of the verb. Here we have examples, okay? The examples here with shall or with will, can you see them here? I shall go to office tomorrow, or I can say I will go to office tomorrow. Here, because we have the timing word tomorrow, we should write the verb in the future tense. I repeat, I can say I shall go, or I can say I will go. We should here write will or shall with the verb in the base form. Now, the second example. She or he will go to office next week. Because we have the word next, we should write the verb in the future tense. We can say she or he will go to office next week, or we can say she or he shall go to office next week. Now the last example, we, you, or they will go to office 2 days after. Here, because we have the timing word after, we should write the verb in the future tense. Or we can say here, we, you, or they shall go to office 2 days after. Thank you for watching, and good luck for you all.